Wow, I don't think I've ever seen somebody with the amount of hair that you have. It's quite a lot. Do you mind if I, like, take a look at that? I mean, like, how on earth do you manage to grow out your hair to be this long? Like, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. You have so much hair, and it's so thick. Like, it's very thick, and it looks healthy and shiny. Oh my gosh. I couldn't even imagine the upkeep that this would take. Like, the amount of work that it must probably be to wash it all and stuff. It's like forming like a layer over your skin, like protection almost. Wow, this is incredible. Do you mind if I just like take a look at it and like check your scalp really quick to see how your scalp health is? It must be quite like heavy on your scalp with that amount of hair. I'm gonna start with this comb. It's just a rat tail comb, nothing crazy. I'm just gonna be parting the hair like this. Do you mind if I just like take a look over here really quick? And just on this side, parting the hair around your ear. Okay. And that's crazy. Your hair wash days must be like crazy, like the amount of work that it must take to get this like all clean. Your scalp does actually look quite healthy though. I'm quite impressed. I'm not really noticing anything that's like concerning or jumping out at me or anything like that, which is good. Just sort of going around here and taking a look. Well, okay. It's almost like animalistic. The texture of your hair is slightly different than the texture that I've been exposed to. It's a bit of a different texture, definitely thicker, I'd say. And the way that it's growing out of your head is fascinating. I mean, it's like it doesn't stop. It just keeps going forever and ever, infinitely. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a look with my fingers here. Yeah, I've got my press-on nails, which are quite long, so they can feel pretty good on the scalp. You seem like you're not much of a talker, huh? You've made quite a few like grunts and groans at my general direction, but you know, I don't mind doing the heavy lifting in a conversation. I often feel like I am the one doing that. You know, I'm a bit of a yowler, so I don't mind. So, is everybody in your family like, do they all have this sort of hair, or is it like you specific, you special, or like what? I'd love to know, like, is there a history? Do you live in a long line of long, luscious hair? Like, does it run in your family? Perhaps many generations ago you were blessed by like, I don't know, a witch or something. Well, I'm obsessed with that. And I think it really like matches your features. Like you kind of give like pirate with how like rough and rugged you look. You know, your features are a little, they're very strong and prominent, and you give off sort of this energy, you know. It's very intriguing, personally. Very different from what I've experienced from other people. Still just parting the hair with my fingers, but taking a general inspection of the hair. I have noticed that you have a few spots in your head, like little leaves, I think is what they are, little leaves or tiny pieces of like dirt. So I could go ahead and just pluck some of those out for you, just plucking some of the debris that's in your hair that I've noticed. It hasn't been a lot, but you know, I don't know if you like to hike, because you kind of give off this like woodsy hiking vibe. So I mean, it makes sense, you know, when you're hiking and you're in the wilderness, sometimes trees and stuff just brush past you and they leave little bits of things, but I can go ahead and help you and just grab a hold of some of those. So yeah, you give off a woodsy vibe, very like natural, like nature, like camping. I can see you camping, roughing it in the woods and all that. So I'm just sort of parting the hair, and then when I find something, I'm just plucking it out, and we'll just remove. That's another one. Yeah, it looks like it's mostly like tiny pieces of like leaves or even some little rocks, which kind of gives an illusion that you haven't just been like hiking in the woods, but maybe you've been rolling in dirt. But I don't judge, so if that's how you like to spend your time. Yeah, your hair has a very nice like musk to it. There's another one. I'm noticing it, like it kind of reminds me of like a river. It's kind of got that like earthy, muddy sort of smell. What do you use in it? Like what shampoo? Like is it all natural or oh, this one's being a bit tricky. Let me just okay, there we go. Yeah, I like the smell of like natural odor, so kind of gotten the vibe that you don't really wear deodorant, and that's also fine with me, you know. Yeah, you know, you've got to be aluminum free, then that's what you gotta do. So you got to do. Okay, that's looking so much better already. You were a little roughed and tuffed around the edges, but even that just got your hair looking a lot cleaner, which I'm sure helps you a lot because you don't want to have that like itchy, scratchy feeling on your scalp. You know, the itchy, scratchy feeling. Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this teeny tiny beauty tool. It's got this very sharp edge, and this feels phenomenal to part the hair with on the scalp. And parting the hair can be really good because it promotes blood flow, and getting blood flow to the area, it can really help the hair grow and just be really healthy and stuff. So a little scalp massage or parting can be really good for it. Plus, this is just letting me see if I missed any pieces of debris in your hair, and I can just use my fingers to remove it, if that's alright with you. I'm noticing a little bit that your hair seems to be a little, I don't know if unruly is the term, not unkempt either, but I just don't want it to be bothering you too much because it's really in your eyes a little bit. Yeah, and it's like hard to see your features because you've got such a good head of hair. It's almost as if it sort of trickled across your face. I presume some of this is like beard as well. It looks very good on you, by the way. I'm thinking I could just take some scissors and just snip, 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 just snip like that, so then maybe it'll feel a little bit fresher on your face and be a little less weighed down. You know, not to remove really like the aesthetic that you're going for or anything like that. Just to simply convenience you and make you feel maybe a little bit more comfortable. Okay. Yeah, I really like using this detailed pick. I just think that it works like so good at parting the hair. You know, you really are quite strange. I really haven't seen anybody like quite like you before. And I'm very drawn to your unusual, almost mythological energy. Fantastical, that would probably be a good word for it. So really just cleaning you up here. And you seem like you're like straight out of like a cartoon or like a storybook. You just have this like really interesting like energy though, because you look quite, I'll say scary. I'll be honest, you do look a little scary, but you have this almost like grandmotherly energy about you, and it feels very nurturing and kind, you know. And my therapist does say that I tend to see the best in people, and oftentimes by seeing the best in people, I tend to be a bit delusional, and I think that people are nicer than they are, and I trust people who I probably shouldn't trust, but I like to imagine that everybody has good intentions, and I think that you have very good intentions, and you have very interesting an essence about you that does feel vaguely threatening, but I trust you. And I have heard your tummy crumble a few times, and I don't know, I think that there's like a bit of anxiety in my brain about maybe you like eating me or something, but that's crazy because why would you do that? You would never do that. So don't worry, I'm not too nervous or anything. I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little bit of brushing on your hair, if that's okay. Just a tiny bit, because I kind of made a few knots in your hair. So I just want to remove those really quick, just to, keep you in good sorts and let you leaving this place feeling good. when we eventually have to say goodbye, but I'm very happy that we got to meet and everything. I think that we could be like fast friends for sure. And friends, they can come in all different shapes and sizes, and you are a bit larger than me. But that's fine, like I said. Friends can look different from each other, and it's no problem. And you're different than me in lots of different ways. It seems like, you don't seem to be the biggest fan of wearing clothes, do you? Yeah. I noticed that. But that's fine. Did you lose them, perhaps? Or, do you just like to, let yourself be free in the woods? Because that's okay, too. Let's just take a look here. Just taking a look at the front of your scalp. Okay. Let's just go a little bit deeper. And go towards the crown of your head. Just parting your hair here, like so. Yeah. Wow, I just wish I had your hair. I really do. I wish that I could have been so fortunate to have as much hair as you do, because my hair is quite thin. It's just another way that we're quite different. I've got thin hair, you've got thick hair. You tend to like to go on all fours, and I'm more of like a bipedal kind of person. So, is it beetle? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Not like you'll correct me anyways. That's what I really like about you, You never make me feel like lesser than or dumb or anything like that. You never correct me or tell me that I should listen to my therapist and that I'm a little crazy. And in those ways, I think that you are an excellent friend. So I really like your company a lot, and I'm glad that we met. Wow, you must just get so many compliments, though. Well, if I saw you, I would have to compliment you. I mean, I did a few times already, But I'm just saying that if we never met, it didn't matter. I would have told you, given you a compliment anyways. Wow. Okay. Sometimes I get a bit caught inside of your hair as I'm taking a look and doing my scalp inspection. I don't know what that's about, but probably just I don't know. It seems like you're not the hugest fan of a hairbrush. That's okay. I mean, it's clearly working for you, so who am I to judge? I shouldn't be the one to tell you that maybe you should brush your hair, but honestly, though, you look healthy. I don't know where your scalp starts or ends, though, since basically all of you is hair. So it's a bit hard for me to tell how your scalp health is doing specifically as opposed to the rest of the health of your body, but I think that your scalp health is very good. And the rest of your body too, probably. I've checked your neck a little bit, and I've checked, your collarbone area and your shoulders, which are also quite hairy. Very lumberjack. You kind of remind me of a lumberjack, but a strange one. A little bit like a lumberjack who's also an animal, like a wolf or something. But I shouldn't be ridiculous. Of course, it's not to you at all. You're just a bit of an odd human, and that's okay, right? It's fine. We all have our quirks. Lord knows I have some. Lord knows it. Okay. Just gonna go back to using my fingernails, if that's okay. I'm just taking a look here. seeing what I can see, just sort of parting the hair and looking at the scalp, around the ears. Let me check this ear over here. Looks pretty good in my opinion. Take a look for touching your hair. It's quite good, yeah. I wish that I could know what products you use. I mean, do you use like a leave-in conditioner? Do you use like a hair straightener? Do you use heat protectant if you use a hair straightener? Do you blow dry? 'Cause it's so fluffy, very fluffy hair. It's incredible. Yeah. And I like the way your ears looked. They were very weird. they don't quite sit at the normal place that an ear would sit at, They're a little bit more top of the head rather than side of the head, which is very interesting to me. Just a little bit though. And they're a little pointy and very hairy, but we've already established that all of you is very hairy, so that's to be expected, right? And just normal, nothing weird, I don't think. Totally normal, just slightly odd human for sure. Although your teeth also look a little strange. I mean, humans, we have our little tiny canines, but they're very small in comparison to like animals, like wolves. But I noticed that your teeth, I couldn't tell if you were like smiling at me or maybe snarling, but I think it was a smile. I'm just noticing they're very sharp and pointy. And your nose is sort of wet. I don't want to be crazy, but would it be completely absurd of me to say that maybe you're not human? That would be bizarre, right?